Good to go.
Right, I assume we'll see Jim at some point. So anyway, I think he said he could come, and maybe Becky too. But anyway, this will be another quick one. So I'll call the meeting to order of the Neary Building Committee Finance Subcommittee at 1:30 on Friday, April 26, 2024. All members are here. Okay, so let's get this done. So the first thing is to approve the draft minutes from March 14th. So Mark, I know you weren't there, so you can vote if you want to, but you can also abstain. It's your choice.
All right.
All right.
Look, I didn't have any edits.
I didn't either. I thought they were perfect. So I mean, she really does a good job. So, all right. So in that case, Andrew, you want to make a motion? I'll second it.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second, roll call vote. Andrew,
Aye.
Mark,
Abstain.
Cook, aye. So 2-0-1. All right. Hi, Jim. Hi, Becky. So we're
Good
moving on
afternoon.
here. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, to the main job that we have each time is to approve invoices. So we have five. So there we're starting to accelerate here. So we've got the two main ones from Errol Street and Skanska, and three of the subcontractors that are working with Errol Street.
Do we
Okay.
need to approve the subs? Because I think they're just under the Aero Street contract, right?
They are. So Jim, what do you think? Errol Street's gonna pay them, correct?
Yeah, we just track them as individual budget line items so that we know where they are. So yeah, it's all part and parcel of the Aero Street contract.
All right, so we'll just approve Errol Street's total contract, and that will take care of the three subcontracts. Anybody have any questions? I've got a couple on the sub ones. Anybody?
I just one generic question on Aero Street, right? Because it is a fixed bid, right?
Yep.
So why aren't we just approving the payment? Or a monthly, or a monthly, however long the contract is, whatever the prorated amount is for the month.
So to clarify, their basic services is a lump sum contract. All their subs that are hitting environmental and site are separate contracts, separate budget line item. Does that make sense?
He knows that. He's asking why the 596 is just not a flat amount each month.
So I asked that question to Katie, and they said it will go up and down depending on the phase that we're in. I thought that was my question to Katie. I said, I thought it would go up during the last month. And she said, no, it's
just, I don't really care if it goes up or down. We pay them the 596 and they do their jobs. whether or not they did it, whether they did it in a month or 3 months, or they did a lot in this month versus next. I don't know if that's an MSBA, but I'm just, when I do fixed bid contracts, I sign the contract and I send them the payment and hold them accountable to the contract, as we go through it.
Well, Andrew, I can say I had the same question for them, and they said that, it's going to go up and down. And I pretty much said, okay, as long as we hit 596,
to be perfectly honest, I'd rather that money be sitting in our bank account and earning interest and time value of money, and we'll pay them later. That's fine with me. But it's very odd.
I imagine that internally they've got some metric they're looking at the hours they're spending. And probably billing it based on what they think the total hours are, and numerator being what they spend. So they've probably got something they're doing to try to match what they're spending to what they're billing. But I agree. I don't care. But I thought, Jim, you'd said our previous meeting is a flat amount every month. And that's why, again, it hadn't been. So
exactly. That's what I thought as well, which is what most architects do, but they're doing a little bit differently. So
all right. So okay with that answer, Andrew?
Yeah, I think, and then just to get into some of the other ones on the Aero Street one, it seemed like some of the land survey pieces were pretty well consumed at this point. And, we're just starting the project, and the 3D billing scan, which is it's a billing or a building?
Building.
Okay. It says billing scan. I was like,
it does say billing. I was going, what?
They charged us $10,000 to scan their invoice.
I know. That's how I had to say,
I'm trying to see
billing scan. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the existing building. So they do it once.
I saw it in the sub invoice. Made sense, but it was just I hit a chuckle. My only part that I was seeing a line item at 86% when we're where we're at in the project just gave me a little bit of anxiety, but hopefully we only have to do the survey at the beginning, I guess. And
Yeah, I mean, as far as the initial buildings or sorry, land survey, the land's not changing between now and schematic
Yeah.
design. So they do it once where we left a little bit of money in there for, we're chasing down some utility information and stuff like that. So other than that, yeah,
got it.
we
Okay.
should be good.
All right, so that Andrew asked one of my questions, what's the billing scan? Okay, so, and then the second one was, I do hope we're almost finished with the land survey because we spent the money. So I hope that we are done. All right. Mark, you have any questions on any of the details here?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, Andrew, you ready?
I am.
Okay, so you wanna make the motion?
Let's go to the top. Hold on, let me figure out what the
So two motions, let's do them separately.
but I'm just gonna do the kind of the scans summary numbers, which I have to rotate or my head's gonna.
Or your head will rotate.
There you go. Okay. I move we approve the Skanska invoice ending in 15359-7 for $22,400.
Mark, you want to do the seconding?
Second,
Okay, roll call vote, Andrew,
Aye.
Mark,
aye.
Cook is aye, so that one's approved.
Okay.
Next,
And then for the next one, I'm gonna move it in total. I move that we approve the Arrow Street invoice number 729,475 and the amount of $67,629.77.
Mark. Mark seconded. Okay, roll call vote, Andrew,
All right.
Mark,
Aye.
Cook is aye, so it's 3-0. So now we've approved all invoices. So Becky can take it from there. Okay, we're okay, Becky, as far as that goes for you?
Yep, I'm all set. Well, I have them all printed and ready to go.
All right, next meeting date, it looks like May 16th may be a good one. Does that seem to work with everybody? And give Skanska,
These day ones aren't, I kind of don't mind like a Friday or especially a Friday during the day.
I was gonna say, Andrew, I agree with you.
I don't mind, I can do it too. So Becky,
Yeah, the only, on the 16th during the day, I'm at a MASBO conference that day, but I could do Friday the 17th.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Mark, are you working full-time? Are you retired? What are you?
I'm half-time right now, but I think I've got another contract to increase those hours too. So about 30 hours a week, but I'm out of my house, so I'm around.
Okay, so everybody look at May 17th at 1:30 and see if it works.
Okay.
For me,
Okay,
I have my daughter's dance recital at 4, but hopefully it doesn't go that long.
well, we don't want you to miss that. So, they're not gonna, it's not gonna go that long.
No.
Yeah, usually in the afternoons, 1:30 to 3 or 4 is usually pretty open for me. So
But I will say by that meeting, we're gonna see the 12 estimates, correct, Jim?
Yes, yep.
So we will have a little bit more to talk about than just approving routine invoices.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
May
definitely.
17th. Do we want to start at 1 just to make sure Jim's got time to get there?
sure.
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
it's not too far. It's no big deal.
All right, let's do 1 o'clock on May 17th.
Yeah, yeah, so as far as the estimates go, just so everybody knows, that's gonna be construction cost only, obviously, and then we are gonna put on a soft cost for a total project cost. Just a percentage, it's gonna be 25 or 30%. I gotta talk to Dale just to make sure we're most current for soft costs. So that's how it's gonna be presented, just so everybody knows when the estimates come in.
Okay, and then things like desk and equipment, et cetera, is that part of it too?
Yeah, that'll be part of the percentage. So, yeah, and don't quote me on the 25 or 30. Like I said, we just have to do a little benchmarking for where we currently are with soft costs. So.
And then once we get, so I'm now under the other business that may be properly brought forward. So we're
Oh,
still,
yeah, sorry.
still talking numbers. So I think we're still well within our agenda. So once the 12 go in, do they then get refined over the summer at all? As-
Yes.
As we start truly narrowing down things, so there'll be a work in progress?
Yes, yeah, as Arrow Street goes through and refines their designs, the estimates will match that and kind of take a parallel path. And then obviously, once we choose an option, the schematic design is the first real, detailed estimate.
So they'll keep refining to that too. So because, and I would think Andrew and Mark will agree with this if you don't say so, but the cost is going to be a really important factor, and I think a lot of people's decisions. So it's really relevant as far as where people come out in the end, as far as where their vote's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it comes down to the what weeds out, the repair options, some of the renovation addition is the cost. Because, when you start to tack on, phasing and all those costs, it starts to escalate pretty quickly. So, yep.
Having them track together also gives us, as we're going along, the impacts of decision changing on the design. So we'll always be able to have that financial test. Yeah, we
Yep.
want to make this space larger and that one smaller. What's the change in the budget? And so it will change based on some of our decisions down the road.
Yeah, a really specific piece that we've talked about in the working group, but not with this full group, is the auditorium. That's a fully non-reimbursable space by the MSBA. So Arrow Street has strategically put it in a place where we can carry it as a, quote unquote, alternate through the process. So that if, folks like an option, but it's a little higher in cost, we can show the scenario of taking the auditorium out and what that cost would be.
So when you line up the 12 estimates that we're going to get, do you also then underneath that put a line for estimated reimbursement so we understand what the net cost could be?
Yeah, and Jim, it'd be helpful.
Sorry, I
Yes.
apologize. You froze there for a second.
She's basically saying when we get the pricing, it would be good to know like total price, reimbursable, net.
Yeah, estimated
Auditorium would
reimbursement.
be, whatever it is, price, not reimbursable, you pay it all.
Yeah, I mean, I would be more comfortable discussing that in this group because of kind of the complexities of the MSBA reimbursement. It can shift around quite a bit. So when you start to talk about what the district share is going to be, if there's some changes along the way, it can swing, by quite a bit. So, we can give an estimate, but again, I just don't want folks latching on to, okay, this is going to be our grant value, this is going to be the district share, really until we get to project scope and budget, which is at the end of schematic design.
Which I think makes
I
sense.
get that, but this is a relevant piece of the decision, it
Yep.
really is.
But I
it's
think Kathy, for that meeting, if we just have a asterisk next to something that's not reimbursable.
Yep.
That'll cover it for that meeting. I mean,
well, but remember too, they don't reimburse, their reimbursement is based on whatever they cap the cost at, right? So you got to still back that piece of it out too. So you can't just multiply, what's reimbursable by, 60%.
Sure.
And think you got it.
Yeah, and I mean, as the estimates get more refined, we'll be able to zero in on that more because we'll know exactly what, site they cap at 8%. So right in this stage, we're not really going to know the dollar value of the site work. But when we get to schematic design, when we get further down the line, we'll know what those values are with a little bit more detail.
Jim, do you have a cheat sheet of that would be helpful? Like, okay, site's only 8, no auditorium, no whatever. We pay for pottery class, but not photography classrooms, or kind of
a summary. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
there's got to be one somewhere from
I'd
some
have to dig
project
it up,
that had
but
done something, but
Yeah, I'd have to dig it up, but yeah, I'm pretty sure, because this is obviously a common question
Yeah.
with pretty much all districts, so, yep, yeah, we can dig that up.
So Mark, I also wanted to thank you. I appreciate your comments at the full committee meetings when you were talking about that site. It's really kind of outside our scope today, but I wanted you to know that what you say is very meaningful to me because that's an area that I am not very good at. So I appreciate what you're doing to try to keep everybody focused on the issues, could be issues with that site.
Well, actually, thank you. I could get downright deeper in some of my questions, but I don't want to see people's eyes glaze over. Jim, just for edification, the groundwater concerns me.
Mhm.
It concerns me with Eric's thinking that maybe portions of the Neary school are usable. The groundwater may tell us an awful lot, but one of the things I'm going to be looking for is what is going to be the baseline top of the foundation to avoid any groundwater issues over the next 50 years. And how much are we going to have to fill to get to that level? I'm assuming the school's going to have to be higher than what we got there now.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously that's part of the study, and I think, we had our internal project team call, and that was a topic of discussion, just about, how that's dealt with, how we, research it, what can we do prior to schematic design to look at that, so, yep, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yep.
Because one thing that we really cannot do, is let's go to the highest cost scenario, which is 4th-grade school, right? New 4th-grade school. And $1,000 a square foot, 122,000, that's 122 million. Let's say we get 22, so it's net 100 million. We cannot build a school that has a problem in 10 years. We have to know what we're doing. And at least say, yes, it's a lot of money, but boy, is it a great school and it's going to last a long, long, long time. And it really is going to be state-of-the-art education. We've certainly got to make that case and mean it.
Yeah,
The-
and the project
Yeah.
team has the common goal, that's.
The other uncertainty is the moment we cross over one of those buffers, we'll obviously be subject to Conservation Commission, and I would have no clue how to represent how they would feel about it. That worries me, and that's why I brought it up. It, I don't know, I haven't directly dealt with the Rivers Act. I've always avoided it in every project I've done, but that frightens me.
I
All right,
still,
that's probably in that. Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
I was saying, and that's where the last meeting I brought up that, I think that we should probably look at an alternative site that maybe we don't own as a backup. Yeah, I'm more worried that we're gonna try to shoehorn it in there, especially if we did, the large scale 600 students. I mean, the size of septic we would need, obviously we couldn't reuse the same one because and then I think, Mark, you know better than me, but if it's a new septic with the new rules, you need a backup site as well in your plan for approval.
We're already pumping to that septic system.
Yeah.
So when you put a septic system at a height where that one is, we're gonna be pumping an awful lot to get up to that height. It's why I keep looking at the grades, and the further we push back into that hill, the issues come up about septic, they come up about groundwater, they come up about all the cuts and fills and retaining walls you're talking about. It's a tough site.
So I'm just, that was kind of my takeaway, and maybe just having in the back pocket a couple other options and whether or not it's feasible to even have to pull that trigger, but we could talk.
Yeah, and no answers for you, but I can say the Skanska team, Arrow Street team, to 90% of the schools in the state are built on some of the most troublesome sites. Winchester High School was a filled-in pond that they filled in with trash, and it was in the floodplain. So, there's definitely experience amongst the team with, tough sites. So,
And Andrew and Mark, I did connect Katie with Paul Pazinski, so she could talk
Good.
directly to him and get his, because I know 10 years ago, when he came to us, he was very concerned about septic. Now, he probably was concerned about the existing septic as far as adding on to it and using it. And I explained to him that there is a reasonable possibility we're going to build a new school, either 2 grade or 4 grade. So we may have, and I said, so that means a whole new septic, but it can't hurt for him to talk to Katie, so that I did do that. Okay, anything else? Before we say goodbye for the weekend? All right.
so we,
Excuse me?
oh, sorry, I said that's all we had.
All right, anything in the audience?
Nobody?
Okay, no public comment. All right, Andrew, can you make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Mark?
Second,
Roll call vote. Andrew?
Aye.
Mark?
aye.
Lucas, aye. See you guys later.
Thank you all.
Hi,
Thank
have
you.
a good
Have a
Have a
weekend.
nice weekend.
Bye, Jim.